Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I just finished recording a couple of videos for my Saturn Returns class of the first round that was May through August, and we're coming up on starting the next one. I'm actually probably going to post this video sometime in September, so we will have already started the second round, the September through December group of Saturn Returns folks. But what I was just doing in a video for the first group was I was telling them kind of a play-by-play of all the things that I've been dealing with over the past few years that go along with my Saturn Returns work and this kind of energy and how it's taken place in my life. And I just wanted to kind of make a note that a lot of the things that I was talking about were relationship related and love and relationship related. Not just that, but also career, also like just general life stuff. But a lot of the things that I was talking about, a lot of the things that seem really relevant when I talk about this type of work, ended up being a lot of relationship-y things. And this occurred to me that it makes a lot of sense because Saturn in my birth chart is in Capricorn, which is why I am coming up on my Saturn return this year in the present moment, because Saturn returns to the sign of Capricorn this December of 2017. But also that Saturn is in my 7th house, and the 7th house rules marriage and relationships, marriage and partnerships. So it makes a lot of sense that my work related to Saturn has a lot to do with loving relationships and figuring out what I want out of those situations and what I want from partnerships and commitments and things like that. So it occurred to me that another aspect that I might like to add into this next, thing that I'm doing, the next group of Saturn Returns people that I will be working with in the second iteration of the course, might be to talk about, to really look at everybody's birth chart and say, okay, where's Saturn for you? And therefore, what can that maybe tell us about what your Saturn Returns work might be about? So if you'll just give me 1 second, I'm going to look up a list here. Alright, I apologize. I thought I had my notebook here with me that had my handwritten list, but I don't, so I just looked it up on my phone real quick. So there's 2 different lists here. Depending on who wrote it and what you're looking at, there's different descriptions given. And so I have 2 different ones here that I'm going to read. Meanings of the houses, and so whatever the house represents can sort of tell us what your Saturn lessons might have to do with, and for me it definitely was the case. So the 2 different things here that I have as listed for the first house, if Saturn is in your first house, one list just says self, that it's about self. The other one says it represents your basic attitude toward life and your stance toward life. So if Saturn is in your first house, you're going to be doing a lot of self-reflecting work that is really just based on that and your attitude about life and how you see life. The second house is possessions, or the other one says your attitude toward possessions, body and belongings, finances, values, ethics. So if it's in your second house, it might be dealing more with, you might be looking at gaining and losing physical possessions and finances and values and things. You might be looking at your values and your ethics, so just cluing us into what might be happening there. Third house is communications, or attention to your immediate environment and your way of understanding and learning. So I can see where one person got communication from that same thing. Fourth house, the keyword one, I have this one chart here that just basically has keywords on it. You're not going to be able to see this screen at all. That's super cool. Okay, so the keyword one just says home. The other says home, what makes you feel comfortable, home or what makes you feel comfortable and at home. Makes sense, because the number 4 is often associated with home and safety and structure, your house, 5 is creativity. Creativity, games, and sports is what the other says. 6 is service and health, or the other list says work and practical effort. Service and health, work, practical effort. Okay? The 7th house, which is where my Saturn is, rules marriage and partnerships. As I said, the other list says partnerships and friends. Yeah, and the other thing that I've seen listed is open enemies, like knowing your enemy. 8, the 8th house is death and regeneration. The number 8, figure 8, is like an infinity symbol, death and regeneration. This other one says the 8th house is money, investments, business, sharing, and death of friends or oneself. So, yeah, so death and regeneration can also have to do with investments, inheritances, stuff like that. 9th house is mental exploration, or this other one says travel, a broad view of things, philosophy, and politics. So mental exploration, also travel. Travel is definitely an expanding of the mind as well. Promotes expanding of the mind. The 10th house, it says career. And this one says career or role in life. So one is more like work, and the 10th house is more career, an overarching sense of kind of your arc, your path over your whole life. The 11th house says hopes and wishes / friends. The other list says organizations, clubs, social activities. So I can see how that could kind of relate hopes and wishes, like the causes that you care about and your friends, and then being in organizations, clubs, social activities with those friends. So like kind of like finding your people, finding your tribe. And then Saturn in your 12th house, or just your 12th house in general, it's the keyword says self-undoing, and the other one says conscious, guilt, and service to community. Conscience, guilt, and service to community. I can see how that has to do with self-undoing. So depending on the list that you're looking at, like I said, there's many, many lists online, and they're all going to say different keywords and different meanings. And again, I wish I had my Saturn book with me that I've been using. I'm not at home right now, so I don't have all of my stuff. But I'm shedding. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of point out all of those different things as something that I noticed as I was going through the things that I'm currently experiencing as being things that so far in the first few years have been really salient, is my attitude toward relationships and partnerships, and ending a long-term relationship for various reasons, and getting into other relationships that I thought were really great and then ending them for various reasons. And it's kind of just this picking apart of like, okay, no, like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep following this pattern? And really diving in and realizing that, yeah, it is a pattern, and like, why am I repeating this pattern? Recognizing that this is a repeating pattern in my energy, and if I want to change something, then I have to change my energy, and I have to change my understanding of that, and find out why I keep doing this, and why I keep attracting the same types of people, why I keep going through the same types of experiences. And it's a matter of like realizing those things and then saying, okay, no, this is not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. And really honing that down. And I'm happy to say that my current partner is none of the things that I have seen in the past, which means I've broken a pattern. And not only, it's not like I was looking for, like, I'm just going to find someone who's totally different than anyone I've ever, no. Like, the planets aligned, forgive the expression. We're talking about astrology here. I don't literally mean, obviously I don't literally mean that. But, yeah, things just kind of came together in such a way. And like, oh, I'm doing this work to find what I want and what I need, and clearing out the things that I don't want and don't need. And all of a sudden, the universe brings this person into my life who is sort of everything and more, and nothing like the repeating negative patterns that I've experienced. And so far, I can say that that the work has been great, and for me, has really matched kind of the house that Saturn is in my birth chart. So, just wanted to kind of point that out as something that might be able to clue us in as to what sorts of lessons are we going to have to be dealing with and going through when Saturn comes back around for us. So if you are a Saturn and Capricorn person like me, then Capricorn is going to be really relevant. You know, a lot of like earthy matters because Capricorn is an earth element. So a lot of like money, prosperity, abundance, fertility, very earthy, physical matters, stuff like that is going to be part of the Saturn return as well. And yeah, for me, it's definitely been a lot of earth stuff and a lot of 7th house stuff. So take a look at your birth chart, find out where Saturn is for you, and I may be talking more about, probably will be talking more about it in the future because I'm doing these Saturn Returns courses right now. So this is the kind of work that I'm doing that I want to be sharing, that I'm learning cool things. So, and for those of you who are in the Saturn Returns course, if it in fact has already started when I decide to post this video, I hope to be talking more about that with you guys in our private group. And if I have not started it yet, there's still time, so join us in September. We're getting started. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.